boy. But here we go.
We are going to be loading into Romanticide, the first map of our best of 5 grand finals. We're here in the top left-hand corner map spawning. Oh, yeah. LE, of course, stands for Lovers.
Election.
Lovers election. That's when we all vote for whether we want Quirky or Soko or Kuro to be the presidente of the Solaris Federation, something along those lines. In the top left-hand corner map, spawning all the way in the top left-hand corner, the red Protoss player coming out from South Korea. He is going to be representing himself as he's currently teamless, although sponsored by Corsair. He is the big boy. He is doing it for his puppy bears, PartinG.
And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Romanticide LE, we have the South Korean Protoss player. He is blue. He is representing his team, a Freak of Freaks. Yaku, are you free? It is Stats. Mate, I could barely make out the tune that you were making. I don't. God damn it. God. Hey man, calm down, buddy. The better you get, you know, the more likely we are to get muted on stream, right?
Copyright struck. I need to like change the notes just a little bit. Make it like a step down.
Not now though. Don't.
Yeah. Figure it out.
Oh god. But here we go. We are
I think we still have the pre-show for the SEOs where it was just a whole bunch of us attempting to karaoke it.
Oh yeah.
With our phone mics and our delays, stream delays.
It's
for each other.
It exists. It exists out there. I don't think it's available. It's not available publicly, but it is available to subscribers. I
think it is. Exclamation on YouTube to check.
Yeah.
Would be in one of the playlists. Yeah, one of the miscellaneous playlists in the Ducklings YouTube channel.
I think Kuro used
actually,
one of
you
your.
Probably don't want to watch it. Yeah.
One of your pieces for the thumbnail.
Me.
Yeah.
And at the time, I didn't have a computer, so I did it on my phone.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh god, I thought it looked better than normal. I guess. Okay, interesting. I don't know why.
Now I think about it, maybe you don't want to check it out. Fair warning to people in chat.
Oh god, yes. Ear warning as well. It was not good. Oh god, but as the game is starting to progress here, we are on Romanticide, one of the more macro-oriented maps, but that is not stopping these players from scouting everywhere. Ooh, maybe Stats looking to throw down something cheeky here across the map.
Don't do it, Stats! Didn't work out for you last week.
He's doing it.
That could just be a spotter pylon. It could just be a spotter pylon.
It's not a spotter, mate. He's pushing out, mate. What do you mean spotter pylon? Oh god, here we go. Meanwhile, PartinG, he goes across the map with his Haluk. He spots the third gateway. He knows that aggression is coming his way, and mate, there's already a shield battery ready and set up to defend.
Alright, shield battery. The Nexus is here to provide some overcharge, and I mean, normally we do say that in a PvP, the player to expand first is the player that loses, but on Romanticide, that is not so clear-cut. It is a lot easier to defend your natural base here.
It is. It definitely is, especially off of this ramp. But here we go. Stats is here with a couple of sentries as well for these force fields. Come on, puppy. Let's see it. Let's go.
How's it gonna go? He does not want to mess with that shield battery.
He does not, and that's the problem, right? You have to be so careful. Otherwise, PartinG himself could also force field you in, and then an overcharge can be used, and PartinG would just win. It's like so hands down. So we'll see how Stats can kind of micro this out. Oh, gets a sentry.
He's trying. He does get a sentry, which is pretty good damage here. It will put Stats ahead as the game goes on, but he needs to do a lot more than this. Really good force fields coming out from Stats. Isolates a couple of these stalkers. No battery overcharge being popped just yet. PartinG doesn't want to use it until he absolutely has to, i.e. now. But is it too late? Stats has enough to start two-shotting, but it's not quite going to be enough. He's going to continue to reinforce. He has double the army supply right now, and he's just waiting for that overcharge to run out.
God, that he is. But it's important to note that there are 2 shield batteries here as well, one even further behind, and Blink has finished up for PartinG, so he can blink backwards with his stalkers. Meanwhile, Stats, it's just vanilla stalkers here. Oh god.
Without any toppings, not even sprinkles here. And he has chipped away at the army for quite a while, but PartinG, with the sustainability of these batteries, has evened up the army count. Stats in a lot of trouble. He's working on his transition now, but it might be too late.
Exactly, because you know what, like the natural has been done for longer. PartinG, he is up in terms of workers. Not just that, +1 is about to finish up in a couple of seconds as well. Ooh, Stats, he is forced to turn around and fight, and I mean, the better he can, as long as he can trade here, the better it is. But oh god,
that was a massive if. That did not work out. The blinks really working in PartinG's favor, forces a recall from Sats. And now Sats is just going to be playing catch-up. I mean, he is even in the workers and the bases, but Tech, okay, he's ahead in the Robo facility as well, but upgrades solidly in the favor of PartinG. He's even getting his +2 now.
Not like when you say upgrades, it's not just +2, but also Blink as well. Stats, he's still stuck with regular stalkers, and this makes sense defensively. Like he needs whatever he can, so he is pumping out as many immortals as he can. You know, he will be able to hold on with that, but until they pop out, like he is still a little bit under threat. Yo, PartinG actually taking a 3rd base.
Might as well. Can't quite close out the game here, and he doesn't have to. He's ahead. He knows he's ahead, and he's gonna keep being ahead.
This is what we were talking about last week when we were casting these 2 players. It's really odd to see the role reversal, right? Where Stats is the one trying to be ultra aggressive and end the game early, and PartinG, he's the defensive player who just gets further ahead and continues to macro up, and you know, is able to take that economic lead. Like it's an interesting dynamic that these 2 specific players have.
Yeah, normally you expect it to be the other way around. If it was any other player, then I feel like we would be seeing the more normal dynamic of Stats being the defender and PartinG being the aggressor, but somehow, or his opponent rather being the aggressor, but somehow against PartinG, Stats is like, you know what? I'm gonna show this guy how it's really done.
And I have to wonder, right? Like, is it something like where Stats doesn't think that he has what it takes in a more like standard macro game against PartinG? I don't know. It's possible.
I hope not. I hope not. I feel like Stats definitely does.
I mean, we don't know, right? Like, we've yet to see that. So maybe we will this series. Again, this is still game number 1. And yo, Stats, he is just continuing to tech up. Robotics Bay is on the way as well, looking to go straight into those disruptors. But you know what? +2 is about to finish.
+2 is about to finish for PartinG. It's going to be a long time before Stats can get any unit out. Stats is one of the few Protoss players who is still dedicated to disruptors. Nowadays, Blink Disruptor has fallen off a little bit, but
and I'm concerned because there's no shield batteries. The shield battery is only just now going down. That means there's no overcharge.
Blink's right on top of these immortals, takes them out of commission, and GG immediately called after that. PartinG, he'll be taking game number 1. And once again, we have to pause it. Stats. What the hell, man? Just play normal and I think you'll be fine.
Better, at least. He would be in a better position because, oh god, PartinG, beautifully done. He defends beautifully. He keeps his advantage of his blink as well as upgrades. He hits that +2 timing so well. And Stats just fell over, mate. Just toppled.
He was steady against special, but now PartinG just needed to send in the light breeze, and Stats collapsed.
Exactly. And we'll see if this is a tell to how the entire series will play out. Again, it's too early because it was just game number 1, and the way PvP works, like, again, it can be very easy to just turn on the aggression, and, you know, maybe Stats will have a better time if PartinG is the one proxying across the map and looking to try and break his opponent.
Yeah, all signs point to that being the case, but I mean, as you said, there's probably a reason why Stats just refuses to play standard against PartinG. Anyways, we are going to be continuing on our series here, our grand finals on Beckett Industries, LE, the business incubator, cultivating ideas, people, and resources to, I should have looked it up. Just look at the link to the description. In the bottom left-hand corner of the map, swinging all the way to the bottom left-hand corner, we have the red Protoss player coming down from the land of South Korea. He is going to be representing himself as well as the sponsor Corsair, as well as every single one of his sugar puppy bears. He is PartinG.
And spawning in the top right-hand corner of Beckett Industries LE, we have the South Korean Protoss player. He is blue, representing his team of Freaka Freaks. It is Stats.
Oh boy.
Oh boy, indeed, mate. We're here. We are now on the new submarine, the shortest rush distance map in the map pool. And we'll see if either of these players are tempted to throw down a proxy.
I feel like we shouldn't say that, because if Stats ever hears that word, he's like, that's a good idea.
I mean, to be fair, if you recall, in the previous series, PartinG versus Trap, we got to see PartinG proxy a Dark Shrine here to the bottom right-hand side of the map.
Yeah, it worked out really well for him. And in fact, even without the DTs did a lot, but even after DTs were dealt with, that proxy still paid for itself by just trapping Trap into a corner there.
He baited, man. He got baited by the tech. Again, there is no way in and no way out. Only one entrance here, and if you're stuck here in the corner, mate, what are you gonna do? The only way out is to recall.
Better pray for a recall, yeah.
Yeah.
So don't want to get too trigger happy with that R key early on.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. So we'll see how things play out. Right now, we do see a little bit of a difference here. Stats going for 2 Stalkers. Meanwhile, PartinG opening up with 2 Adepts instead.
Yeah, looking to be a bit more aggressive. So finally, we have some normalcy returning. PartinG is aggressive.
Ooh.
Stats is a bit more defensive. Balance has been restored.
Yes, and right now this is looking very similar to PartinG's game versus Trap, where he's not just going for 2 Adepts, he's actually banking up more than that, enough so that he can be aggressive across the map, commit to a shade, and even if a pylon or a shoe battery gets thrown down, he has enough DPS to focus it down and keep going into the main.
Yeah, basically pulling a PvZ in a PvP, trying to stretch the attention of his opponent as much as he can, utilizing these shades. Now, Stats does see that's a little bit more than what's standard when it comes to the depth count, so I feel like something's coming my way. Immediately he recalls. He should be posturing for defense. Exactly,
and he's ready for it. You know, the only thing you have to do differently is, of course, throw down a gateway or, you know, a building with much more HP, and you should be perfectly fine in the main at least. We'll see what PartinG does, because PartinG knows he got scouted, right? So he knows that the ideal scenario isn't really going to take place here, as he commits to even more Adepts, now up to 6.
Oh boy. 8 even.
8, yeah.
I can count.
Let's go.
And I'm just going to be keeping my eyes here on the production tab. It does immediately get spotted. I'm just going to keep keeping my eyes here on the production tab. I think you're right in that PartinG should know that these Adepts aren't going to be what wins him the game. He needs to transition out of this as soon as he can.
Exactly, as the Adepts do shade. Oh my, Stats, what's going on, buddy? He does throw down the pylon. Thankfully, he does have the sentries, but mate, force fields do not stop the shades, and now PartinG is going to get into the main.
Just like so. A little bit of a delay here, too, when it came to pulling the probes, but in the end, Stats was able to keep most of them alive. The lack of mining, though, is super scary. Look at that income difference, like.
Yeah, exactly. Now he commits to shade. 2 sentries go down. Oh my god, almost gets the third.
Instead, he's going to have to be content with getting a couple more probes. This is a pretty disastrous start so far from Stats. PartinG having his cake and eating it too.
Yeah, I get it wasn't the ideal scenario. Like, it's not like PartinG killed a lot of workers, but regardless, damage was done, and now the War Prism gets into the main base. We have 2 more Adepts, more lost mining time. Ooh, mate. If we look at that income graph, it's heavily in favor of PartinG right now.
That's not even a roller coaster. That's just a straight up dip.
Yeah.
That was when they built the roller coaster and then they didn't have enough tracks to finish it. If you want to learn more, and stay tuned to Chat TV slash Yakuzaku 1. That goes one these days, anyway.
Yeah, sometime this week.
Yeah.
Oh boy, but PartinG, nicely done. He was able to deal a lot of damage there with his adepts, and as you said, he is transitioning. You know, we got Blink on the way, we got Immortals on the way as well. Oh boy. And meanwhile, Stats doesn't even have a robo.
Yeah, pretty far behind in the tech here. Stats is. He will be the quicker player to get Blink, but how much is Blink really going to do when you're faced up against a whole bunch of Immortals?
Exactly. And that timing as well, where he does have Blink and his opponent doesn't, isn't even that big either. So, oh boy, it's going to be difficult to really leverage that in your advantage as, ooh, Stats, he actually gets a couple of adepts into the main base.
And he's starting to reciprocate the damage from earlier on. As we said, they Immortals actually take a long time to kill adepts. They have a deceptive amount of health, and since they aren't armed units, the Immortals don't actually do too much damage.
Yeah, exactly. Also, I don't know if you saw that, but that was some fancy micro there.
Yeah.
PartinG was lifting up and protecting the pros by putting them into the War Prism. That was crazy.
Hot pickup of Protoss.
Exactly. And the timing on that is really difficult because, again, 2 adepts one-shot probe, so he has to try and pick up the probe as the attack is midair.
I just thought about that. That is really tricky to pull off.
Oh boy. Nicely done there by PartinG again. Yo, PartinG, we don't get to talk about it much, but for the longest time, he was renowned for having the best micro in South Korea, especially when it comes to things like Blink Stalkers, things like War Prism micro as well, so he's just on it.
Yeah, there was a long period of time where it was really between him and Maru. And then even after his return into competitive play, he was still in that top 3. Him, Maru, and Björn were renowned for their control and their micro.
Exactly. Oh boy. And so far, the things are kind of slowing down a little bit. Both players are looking to expand, both players taking their third bases, slowly ramping up into things. But we do see PartinG, we'll see if he does anything here, because +1 is about to finish up. Again, his Forge is miles ahead compared to Stats. If he does anything with +1, or instead we'll wait for +2.
Or instead we'll wait for DTs?
Ooh, okay. I see you.
Which is pretty impressive. I mean, DTs is supposed to be hidden.
True, Stats may not. It's the problem.
Yeah.
We see it, Stats does not, and this is terrifying right now. Stats needs to go for some kind of hallucinated scout. He needs to confirm the tech right now. He has no idea what is coming his way. To be fair, of course, in the later stages of the game, Stats should have detection now that he does have his robo, so it's not the worst scenario in the world, but DTs can still deal some damage. Ooh.
He absolutely can. Wow. Observer for an observer.
Oh boy, yeah, they do go blow for blow there. Meanwhile, the Observer is being rebuilt for Stats, not neglecting that whatsoever. And PartinG, yo, he's already going towards Disruptors.
Might as well. Once again, things feel a little bit topsy-turvy. Normally expect Stats to be the player to favor Disruptors, and PartinG to be more going into his Archons, or I guess his Charged Archon, but yeah, we'll see how this ends up panning out. +2 for PartinG, about halfway done. Still a ways off here for Stats. And he's looking to make use of that.
Yeah, we'll see how this plays out, because Stats is taking a 4th base. He's being a little bit greedy, to be honest. PartinG doesn't see it. He doesn't know that the base was there. If he did, he would probably be pushing up and maybe applying a little bit of pressure there, but right now he is not. Meanwhile, oh, we do have the DT coming in here, but it was cleaned up. Only got 2 workers.
Nice cannons here on the middle lines. I suppose the DTs could sort of do a bit of a suicide charge just to take out as many probes as they can, but it's not going to be a whole lot in the end of the day. And PartinG does have to defend against Stats right now. Buy himself a little bit of time for +2 to kick in.
Yeah, exactly. +2 is about to finish up in a couple of seconds. But again, what's scary is that this entire time, sure, like PartinG has the army advantage, but he still doesn't know about that 4th. Stats, he's getting away with so much mining.
And all Stats really has to do from this point is just make sure that PartinG stays contained. Once he's able to overtake the income, once he's able to overtake the economy, he is going to be leveraging that into tech. He is going to be maxing out much quicker than PartinG with a much more sophisticated army than PartinG.
That he will. That he will. Oh boy, and PartinG is just taking his time. For a while now, he had +2 over his opponent, and he just hasn't pushed out with it. He is looking to harass a little bit with the DTs. Meanwhile, the main army of Stats does poke in, doesn't commit though.
Yeah, I think he saw the disruptors, and regardless, you don't want to be pushing out the ramp like that.
Oh yeah, it's terrifying.
PartinG's just fishing. He's fishing for an opening for these disruptors, but he's also leaving them super exposed.
Yeah, PartinG, he wants to like maybe get us around, try and catch the army off guard. Ooh, almost gets cut up there by the force fields. At the same time, we do have the War Prism diving in, and the cannon, it goes down, no more dissection.
None whatsoever, and these C's are having a field day, forces a recall. But it's only a recall of the Observer.
Oh,
but then again, I suppose forcing out a recall this early on, it's better when the fight happens right now, for instance. Okay, not quite yet.
Oh boy, speaking of, we have a lone straight, Stats please, Stats, oh god!
It's trying to get away, but was not meant to be. PartinG punishing the idleness, and finally we're about to see Stats get ahead in terms of the upgrades of PartinG, working on his +3, and not just that, he wants to go into Sky Toss as the endgame.
Oh my god, interesting decision here. Stats, I mean, he does have the better economy. He has had 4 bases far longer than PartinG. PartinG only just now working on his own 4th. Meanwhile, pretty juicy disruptor shots on some of those zealots. Oh god.
Yeah, taking out the zealots is something you never want to underestimate. Just the ability to just think of how much of a buffer they provide and how much damage they can really tank. Not to mention their own damage output. If you can reduce that by even a little bit, then you know, it's a good sign.
Yeah, meanwhile, the 2 zealot run-bys are missing each other here in the middle of the map.
Yeah.
Oh god, and PartinG still doesn't know about that base. Oh god, feels so bad, man. I mean, at least PartinG is working on his own expansion, but because he has been down in terms of the economy, like, he'll be down in terms of the endgame tech, just because the Sky Toss is on the way.
If it comes to that, because Stats being maxed out is actually hurting him a little bit when it comes to his transition.
Oh god, the disruptors. Oh.
So vulnerable. PartinG, he doesn't notice! And so many disruptors of PartinG go down. There's only one of them left. And just like that, PartinG's slight advantage gets completely turned around.
PartinG was distracted by the zealot run by. He was focusing on that instead, and just like that, in like the flip of a switch, that's it. Stats, he takes a massive supply lead. And this could be it.
Gonna let that go. Another purification over. Alright, decent split at the end there for PartinG, but I don't think that is gonna be enough. The Colossus is trying to do whatever it can, but once it clears out the Zealots, what more is it gonna get done? Blink's right on top of it. GG. Stats. Gonna be tying up a series sideways. 1-1.
Mate, in the blink of an eye, it could have really gone either way there. It was whoever noticed first. It was, if PartinG noticed the stray disruptors, then he would have been able to like blink forward and maybe pick off the disruptors of Stats. Or likewise, as what we saw, Stats noticed the army of PartinG, and then the Novas went off. And just like that, GG.
Nicely done. Very close for so long. But in the end, it does. A lot of games can sort of come down to just the first player to make a mistake and the other player capitalizing on top of that.
Exactly.
It's definitely one of those times.
Especially in PvP, like with disruptor shots, like one solid shot, or in that case, 2 solid shots. That's it, mate. You know, the game gets decided then and there. And Stats was able to. That's all you need, mate. And now we're tied up.
1-1. At most 3 more games following this. At least 2 more. You'll have to see it.
Exactly. Boy, I was a little bit concerned that this broadcast would be a little bit short, but so far this finals is looking to be a longer one.
Yeah. Well, depends. They did play a little bit more standard that game. Neither player was overly aggressive. Please continue doing that, Sats. This doesn't seem to be a strong suit. But that is up to him to decide as we continue our series on Light Shade LE. We're in the bottom right-hand corner map, sweating all the way in the bottom right-hand corner. The red Protoss player, the other player who needs to decide what they're going to be doing, he is coming out from South Korea, representing himself as well as all of his sugar puppy bears, sponsored by Corsair. He is the big boy. He is the bottom. He is PartinG.
And spawning in the top left-hand corner of Lightshade LE, we have the South Korean Protoss player. He is blue. He is representing Team Afrika Freaks. It is Stats.
All right, no proxies yet, so that's a good sign.
Yeah. So far, so good. Oh, but we are on Lightshade, and we'll see what these guys have in store for us. I mean, I honestly, I would love to see PartinG be a little bit more aggressive. To be honest, like, it's what he's known for. He's good at it, and even against a defensive player like Stats, like, he could still pull something off.
He really can, as he's shown us in the past a couple of times. But we shall see. Lightshade has a lot of options here if you want to go for the proxy, but at the same time, that also means that with how long it's been in the map pool, it's kind of been figured out.
It has for the most part. I mean, we've seen plenty of proxies, especially like in the center of the map. You know, there's some nice juicy locations here, to the northern sides of the map as well. But regardless, both players are scanning each other with their probes. They both see that, hey, both pylons are in the main base. You know, there's nothing crazy going on. Oh, the game is freezing up a little bit. Yo,
yeah, I don't think it's me this time.
Steadfast.
This is what happens when he doesn't play PartinG.
Steadfast, please. Ay.
Dios mío.
Oh god. I was a little bit concerned. I quickly checked OBS and like my connection is fine, and unfortunately Steadfast is not. For those wondering, Steadfast is another English streamer. Another English caster today. One of 4.
Caster and streamer, I guess, both work out.
Yeah. It works both ways. But unfortunately, it looks like something may be up with his internet.
Ay.
Hopefully everything is okay there in the land of the Americas, but he is no longer with us. F's in the chat. Oh, God.
No copyright.
Hopefully Steadfast is okay, and hopefully he'll be able to join us for the rest of the series. Again, this isn't the final game. There will be at least one more game after this, so much love to Steadfast. Hopefully everything is okay and he can join us later on.
Yeah, fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed. Oh boy.
But
Meanwhile,
till then, he's going to be tuning into one of our streams over here and checking out what's going on here, as PartinG is going to be the first player to throw down a pylon, and Seth sees it immediately.
He missed it. That's why I freaked out. He missed it. He was just out of range. Oh, God.
Shaking my head so hard. Now, PartinG did bring the probe back, so yeah, mostly just going to be using it for a spotter for now, but he's got a lot of opportunity here. If he decides to use it later on, he can just send the probe forward and get anything, really. Sats does not suspect it whatsoever.
Exactly. And of course, with the power of this pylon, you can also reinforce across the map. It isn't as fast as it would be if there was a gateway as well alongside the pylon, but regardless, it is still here, and it will definitely help PartinG if he chooses to be a little bit more aggressive, as he does have 3 gateways.
Just sees one more at that pylon location. He's going to be able to get some fast reinforcements, or even just slow warp-ins. This is going to help him out a ton right now. Stats doesn't really know what's coming his way, so he expands.
Yeah, exactly. And again, like 3 gates is the sign of aggression here for PartinG. Stats, he's down in terms of the army, but he does have a shield battery. And the Nexus is about to finish up as well for that overcharge. Not the Stalkers! Not! I mean the sentries!
But the Stalkers get completely cut in half. Thanks to those force fields. Those sentries are still staying alive, and Stats, he's got to be chuckling to himself. He's like, wait a minute. Didn't this happen, but reversed earlier on?
Exactly. This is the power of the defense when it comes to Protoss players. Like, you just have such an advantage, especially with shield batteries and overcharge. PartinG, he's trying to break through. I like this. He warped in a couple of adepts trying to pull apart the attention of Stats, but he's ready and waiting with a probe. Oh no, he commits! Ah!
That's been his shade, and he's forced to utilize his recall. Still trying to chip away with whatever he can, but the time has long passed for PartinG to be able to get any damage done, really. Stats is going to be going for his own counter harass here, or counter pressure, I should say. Or just be active on the map while he builds up. He doesn't need to get too much damage done on the other side.
And the pylon was even found as well, so Stats, he will just completely shut all of this aggression down. He will clean everything up, and PartinG is forced back. Interestingly, he did throw down a pylon here towards the north, and the probe is still sticking around, so if he wants to, he can proxy some of his tech. What would that be? Yo, give me a Dark Shrine. Yo, here we go.
He heard us. He's pulling the Versus trap.
He knows. He knows. This time the Twilight Council is at home. Blink is on the way, but so are DTs. So we'll see if this is able to catch Stats off guard. Because right now there is no detection. There is a robo on the way though.
Yeah, and if I know Stats, I know that he probably wants to get the Observer up pretty quick, just to be safe. There's a reason to call him the Shield Ire, and that reason is because Observers help a lot in defense. Well,
they do.
That's not the only reason, but
they definitely do. So hopefully Stats does get an Observer out. Right now he's prioritizing the War Prism, as he does want to be a little bit aggressive across the map, especially since he was able to defend against the aggression of PartinG. Ooh, meanwhile, there was a full scout of the main base. There was no Dark Shrine there, so no flags being raised for Stats.
Regardless, he's still gonna get an Observer out.
Thankfully.
And again, this is Stats we're talking about. He takes precaution.
That he does. Meanwhile, the scouting was denied by PartinG. He does spot the third base, so he knows he's behind in terms of the. Oh my god!
For a second, I thought this was Nexus.
Yeah. Like the blob was large enough where I was like, "Yo, what is going on over here?" Because it's another gateway. Here we go. We have 3 DTs going across the map. Meanwhile, Stats' main army is also going across the map to meet that of PartinG.
Oh boy! Now Stats is a much larger army, and I would say a better army. He's got plenty more stalkers, a couple of these sentries, and let's not forget, +1 is about to finish up for him, but those DTs gonna be wreaking havoc wherever they can. If Stats doesn't close it out, then he is gonna be at a bit of a disadvantage here. Immediately he sees the DTs and evacuates.
Yeah, there's a DT hitting the third base, and there are 2 DTs in the main. Ooh, forces a massive recall though.
I'm not convinced Stats needed to recall there.
Yeah, I mean, I guess he needed detection to come back home. Regardless, the DTs did deal some damage, but what's important is that Stats still did deny the third base, and he still held onto his own.
Yeah, hallucinate probes isn't the biggest of deals when you can remake them in the blink of an eye. Compare that to PartinG's situation, who hasn't lost probes, but is still very far behind.
Yeah, exactly. Oh god, especially in terms of that worker count. Again, PartinG, he was being very aggressive early on. Ooh, PartinG even pulling his opponent towards the proxy. I don't know if this is the best idea. Ay.
Well, it's time to get rid of the proxy and build something back at home, so he just wants some free renovations, is what I'm gonna say. The warp is very exposed, but even then, it's not gonna be enough for PartinG. GG is called, and Stats going to match point in the grand finals.
Yeah, god, that was a big move command there by PartinG, and PartinG, like, again, he invested so much in his aggression, and he was just stopped at every turn. Stats now up 2-1, as you said, only needs 1 more to be our champion.
Can he turn the tables in the rematch for last week? We'll find out. Definitely appreciate the update here. Chronic Bomber. Apparently Steadfast stream crash, so yeah, that's a good. Hopefully things are working out. Hopefully it's not just hopefully it's not like a blackout or anything.
Yeah. I mean, I guess hopefully it isn't anything serious like a blackout or something like that. Maybe, I don't know, maybe just internet is down in his area. Hopefully things will be able to be sorted out for Steadfast.
Shoot the Ethernet cable.
Yeah, hopefully things are okay for him and it is just a temporary issue. I know Steadfast, like just like us, you know, he casts as many events as possible. He does casting for not just the ESL Open Cups but also the Exxon Cups as well. So hopefully his internet isn't too badly affected.
Send him your fingers crossed and Ethernet cables crossed as we continue our series on potentially the final map here in the grand finals. 2,000 atmosphere. Get that Green Day on as we low in the top right hand corner, spawning all the way in the top right hand. We have the red Protoss player coming down from South Korea, representing himself as well as the sponsor Corsair, doing it all for you, his sugar puppy best. He is PartinG.
And spawning in the bottom left hand corner of 2,000 atmospheres LE, we have the blue Protoss player, the South Korean Protoss. He is representing Team Afrika Freaks, already up 2-1 in this best of 5 finals. It is Stats. Oh boy.
Wait, that's not Green Day. I mean, it's close enough.
What?
It's Blink.
Yeah.
182 song.
Is that Blink 182?
Yeah.
Is it? I know it's well, what's it called?
Damn it. One word.
There you go. You know, I have that song on a CD, but I never knew the name of that song.
Did you burn it in the CD or?
Yeah, burn onto the CD. Would listen to it on my Discman.
Listening to the radio.
Back in the day. Nah, mate.
No, you were just like waiting for the radio to come on and then you burn it, or no, wait. At this point, that was already iTunes.
That was the what? iTunes? What? No. That was LimeWire back in the day, mate. You know what LimeWire is? It's like Napster.
Oh yeah. It was a weird in between period between Napster and iTunes.
Well, I mean, it was back in a period where you would pirate music. It was kind of like torrent sites, I guess, where people would share music with each other, and that's how you would download all these songs to be burned on CDs. I mean, burning songs on CDs itself was kind of iffy as well.
It was,
as in everyone did it, but it was frowned upon for a long time. I guess by the music industry, it was frowned upon.
By the music industry, yeah. Nobody else frowned on it. It was like, who cares?
Yeah. I mean, before that, there were mixtapes. You know, let's be real.
There was. I mean, before that, you could even it was also illegal to sell your mixtapes and your burnt CDs. But I mean, at least in Asia, it wasn't terribly enforced, or it wasn't strictly enforced. So you would just see people at markets being like, "Yo, you want a CD?"
Those are the days back in the 2000s, but we are here on 2,000 atmospheres, mate. Stats once again ramping up the aggression with that 3 gateway opening, throwing down a proxy pylon, could even throw down some shield batteries.
And honestly, I still question this. I think that his strength does rely a bit more in the macro, or it does shine a bit more in the macro game, but 2,000 atmospheres, this is a pretty good map to be aggressive on. As we see, it's a pretty wide open space here to go into the natural base. He's even drawing PartinG forward where he can fight in open ground away from the shield battery. So maybe this is a map where he makes it work, but we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, as you said, there is a lot of ground to work with, and he's even throwing down the second shield batteries. What's important is that the shield batteries have completed, and the pylon was unscattered, so it didn't, it wasn't denied by any means or by any way, shape, or form. And now PartinG, like, there's a lot of pressure going on him right now. Like, there is a second shield battery, there's a third on the way, not enough energy for overcharge. Oh my god, it doesn't even matter.
Yeah, not quite yet, and it doesn't even matter. That shield battery, it's out of range, light. Both shield batteries are out of range. The super battery is out of range of stalkers.
It's not out of range. It's just the stalkers are being one-shot, so it doesn't even matter. They can't do anything to keep anything alive as the shield batteries do get taken out. And Stats, he's just taking a commanding lead here in terms of the army supply, but he does back off just long enough for more warpins.
Yeah, just a quick little pit stop. He completely denied the battery overcharge earlier on, and the SimCity kind of working against PartinG's favor over here. He's sort of pinning his stalkers into a corner, which is not ideal when you're in a stalker versus stalker fight. Choke points are not as valuable here.
Oh god, exactly, and another stalker does fall. PartinG, he's forced to attack, forced to commit because his natural is under threat and he has to keep it alive to retain his lead in this game if he does survive the attack, but it looks like the natural will fall. Enough damage has been dealt. Oh my god, the force field.
My god, even with the blink finishing up here, PartinG, he's getting a bit of a Hail Mary here with that Dark Shrine. But is that even going to come into play? Stats not lighting up one bit in the aggression.
Exactly, and PartinG is trying to push down the rank, but there are just so many soldiers here for Stats. To be fair, Stats is going to have a hard time pushing up the ramp. That's the advantage that PartinG has, and that is why he is going for that Dark Shrine. As you said, a massive Hail Mary play, but Stats already has his Robo on the way.
Indeed, he does. A single observer will really shut down any DT defenses, but I mean, it does depend on whether he can get them here quick enough. The Robo facility is still on the way as the Dark Shrine finishes up. Warpins, especially with the defender's advantage, is a lot quicker than chronoing out the observer, especially without speed.
Yeah,
actually, he's not using it defensively.
He's not. He's sending it across the map. And you know what? The Robo isn't done quite yet. And if he chronos out, oh no, never mind. Here comes the detection. Oh boy. PartinG just left, by the way. He just left his base.
He did. Stats doesn't realize that. Oh, he recalls, which is probably the right move. I mean, he's gotten his expansion up and running after denying the expansion of PartinG. Look at his body block. Brilliantly done.
Wow.
Oh, he's just waiting for that observer to come in.
Yeah, and the shield battery is keeping the stalkers alive. Wow, the DT goes down. That's all the hopes and dreams down the drain for PartinG.
Dios mío. And his Hail Mary has failed. Stats. He had the rosaries.
He did.
I'm not familiar with Catholicism. I'm not as familiar with Catholicism. I know the Hail Mary is something. GG is called, and Stats. He looked a little questionable in game number 1, but he finally retained his solid form, his steadiness to take this championship. GG is called. GG, this is Stats in form. It's such a shame that he's no longer in GSL.
Yeah.
This is what we want.
Exactly. Like, oh god, it's such a shame that GSL, they did change their formats to include Code A and to try and, I guess a way around the fact that there are less competitors in Korea, so there are less players competing in Code S, but the way that they did it, it was a very cutthroat format, and it is a shame that Stats isn't there competing in GSL, but regardless, he's here in these weekly events, and as you said, he's looking so good right now. Stats in form does take the entire series, and he is our ESL Open Cup 66 champion.
Very nicely done. Super solid. Beautiful series against Max Set. Really solid against Special. And now, I mean, a little bit questionable against PartinG, but even still, once Stats turns it on, he really turns it on.
Exactly. Exactly. And Stats, he gets his revenge. Last week, Stats went down 3-1 to PartinG, but now Stats does 3-1 PartinG here in the finals. Oh boy. And yeah, he's looking so good right now. I would hope to see more from him as well, not just in these online like weekly events, but in WTL, you know, the World Team League. I know I know Africa is competing in that as well.
They are. Actually, I haven't been keeping up with that too much. I believe it's Africa and Dragon Phoenix are the favorites, but again, I have
Shopify
to actually
Rebellion,
double-check
they're putting some
Shopify
pretty...
Rebellion.
Yeah, they're actually performing pretty well as well. Like, yeah, they're putting some points on the board. So yeah, it's great that there is still a team league for these players to compete in, even outside of the DreamHack circuit, outside of Code S, outside of GSL. Ooh, but hopefully Stats has another chance, and maybe he competes in the second season of GSL. You know, still has time to do that before he does go to the military.
I believe a while ago, Africa also said that they wanted to have a super tournament in between each GSL season.
True.
So maybe that's a thing again, but I haven't heard if they've confirmed whether they're going to do that or not.
Yeah, it is a little bit up in the air. I don't quite recall either if they did confirm it or not. But regardless, congratulations, Stats. Well played. He does take down PartinG. He took down Special as well. It was a rough road, but he got here in the end, and he looked damn good doing it.
Indeed, he did. And now we just wait for the next event that he plays in the next premiere event. Really, shout out to PartinG as well. Some very cheap. Again, we didn't quite get to see what went on in the series against Trap, but at least in that final game, massive brain plays coming out from him.
Oh yeah, he looked really good there. Oh boy. So yeah, hopefully we get to see more of them. Our next broadcast will be ESL Open Cup Americas, but unfortunately, Stats, he isn't really the kind of player to wake up early in the morning for that, so he most likely won't be there. But you know, players like PartinG
probably will.
Zest,
yeah. Always Zest. It's such a surprise he didn't play today, but I mean, maybe he decided, you know what? Maybe I should take GSL seriously. I doubt it, though. I highly doubt it, though.
He's going to be here for Americas, let's be real. But yes, as you can see on the screen right now, our next broadcast will be ESL Open Cup Americas in 1 day and 17 hours. That will be on Tuesday at 8 a.m. KST. So yeah, thank you everyone for being here with us and supporting us and shooting in throughout the intense weekend that we just had. We just finished up 2 tournaments in a row, back to back.
4 if you want to count yesterday.
True, very true. I mean 5 if you want to count Friday. I mean we just
6 if you want to count Thursday.
It didn't. Oh no, yeah, we did have a Map is Light. Yeah. True. Well, that was Friday morning for me. Yeah. That was well, it's 2 a.m. Oh god, but thank you everyone for tuning in. Yaku of the Zaku, my lovely co-caster, mate. Mate, you finished up your semester. You're gonna be streaming, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna be streaming. I am gonna be streaming. Can't promise that it's gonna be entertaining, but I am gonna be streaming. I am gonna be taking a page and writing into it. Next stream is gonna be on Monday. I want to do PC Build Simulator. Depending on, before that, I'm gonna ladder off stream, and depending on how I feel, I might also stream a little bit of ladder then. But definitely, what I want to stream on Monday or tomorrow, I should say, PC Build Simulator. It's been decided. It has been decided by the people over on !Discord in the chat. That's where you can find myself as well as the other members of CranKy. I completely forgot that to say that. I will stream on twitch.tv/Yakuzaku1. That's where you can find me, and twitter.com @Yakuzaku. I might actually use Twitter.
I love how unsure you were about that. Oh god, but yes, you can follow him there. Meanwhile, you can follow me at light_VIP on Twitch and Twitter. I will be streaming throughout the week. I will definitely be streaming some ladder sessions. I want to get in on that. I've been having a great time laddering. Also some nice Final Fantasy streams as well, mixed in there with the rest of the CranKy Ducklings, with Kuro as well as Soko, Phoenix, Daunted, and Kata. So if you're interested in any of that, then consider following me on Twitch and Twitter.
Are you close to getting to the second expansion yet?
No.
What are they on now? Expansion 6?
No. Fun fact, For Sure is in the chat actually started playing Final Fantasy because of us as well, and he has actually already surpassed us in a week. In a week, he's already up to the expansion content. Oh god,
man.
Look, we are thorough, okay, with our questing. I'll have you know.
Completionists.
Exactly, 100%. But
yeah. Before I think before we close off today, I will, since this is the last broadcast we have of the week, I just want to say, what's it called? Steel Mold. Keep him in your consciousness. Today is his last day as a landscape architect. That means that he is going to be streaming a lot more and casting a lot more of our events here.
He will. By that, he will most likely take up the mantle of casting Demi C weekly. That is the current plan. Hopefully things work out, as he should be free during that event, and that does mean that we'll be casting 3 events on Sunday. Oh boy, it's gonna be pretty intense. Also, the way you started that off, I thought you were going to announce that he died or something. You're like, keep him in your thoughts. He has passed away. I'm like, oh, it finally happened.
He joined old mate Philly.
Oh god. But yeah, massive love, massive shout out to Steel Mold. He will be streaming a lot more regularly on his main Twitch channel. But with that, we are done for the day. Thank you everyone for tuning in. We really appreciate it. Much love to everyone, and we are done for the day. Give plenty of love to whoever we raid. I believe we are going to raid Flamey Blade, an Australian Protoss player.
My blade.
There you go. So yeah, see you guys later. Thanks for watching. Ciao.
Bye. Bella.